Okay, guys, so here's a couple of things that have popped up. There was a question about attendance, and there was only room for one more spot. So I'm looking at Ms. Shelton's attendance sheet. Um, so let me back up a little bit. The first thing she asked me was, is there an easier way to find it without having to go through email or actually go into her Google Drive every single time? So I went into her classroom and I did create and I uploaded it, because when you do create, and I did it as material, and then I did add, and then I did through Google Drive, and then when I saved it, I just saved it as a draft. I didn't post it. Okay, so hang on, let me let it get back. Okay, so now when you see it, it's in gray. Okay, so now when she goes into her classroom, she's got it at the top. I just named it Student Accountability Record. So now you have everything in one place and you don't have to go to different places. Now you don't have to do that, but if that works a little bit easier for you, have at it. It is still tied to the record that McCann sent you. So you've not created another copy. Central office is still going to be able to see whatever they need to see, but it's just a quick and easy way for you to be able to find what you need. Okay, so fast forward back a little bit. So yesterday it came up that in this sheet there was only room for one more day, which would be today. Okay, so our admin checked on it and found out that we do have, or you do have, editing rights in your in this file, so you can add on additional days. Okay, so now I'm thinking long term. If we end up doing this through the end of the year, and I mean, and let's be realistic that they may make us do this until like June the 8th or whatever the last day is, that's going to be a really, really long spreadsheet. So again, you don't have to do this, but here's my thought. You can add, when you're in sheets, you can add different pages, so it's all still right there together, but it's easier organized. Now, Ms. Shelton had another page right here in the middle between student attendance and grading, but I took it out so that I could show you everything from the very, very beginning. If there is another sheet there, I'm going to show you how to rename it. If there's not a sheet there, then you can click Add a Sheet, and you see it pops right in. Okay, when you right click it, you can tell it rename, and then, hold on, I'm trying to type. Okay, I renamed this one April. Okay, we're going to end up going back, if she keeps it this way, which I feel like she probably will. I'm going to end up going back and I'm going to put March in the title of this one, and then we'll have April, and then we'll make a May tab, and then we'll make a June tab. And then you won't have to scroll through 5011 columns to find what you need. Okay, so now you've got to go in and you've got to create. You've got to, I mean, you've got to set it up the same. Now, you could have duplicated this sheet, but when you duplicate, it's going to pop in all of this information, and then you would have to remove it. So trying to show you a way around that, all right? If you go up to the top, click number 1 and hold and pull down, that hand is going to pop up. It's going to darken in the first 2 columns, the first 2 rows. I want you to right click, you're to the right of the 1. I want you to right click on the word. I want you to click copy. And then I'm going to go back to April. I clicked back over at the 1. I'm going to right click in the 1A cell. I'm going to paste, and there it pops in. Okay, now I need to go back. I'm going to click and hold in the 3A cell. Okay, so right above last name, I'm going to click and hold, and I'm going to drag to the right, and I'm going to drag down. So I've highlighted all of my students' names, or all of her students' names. Anywhere on there, I'm going to right click. I'm going to tell it copy. I'm going to go back to April. I'm going to go back to the same cell, 3A. click in it, and then I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to paste. All of her students' names have now popped in. Okay, I'm going to go back to my first one. Okay, so now I've got to put in these cells. I'm in 3C, so I'm in the third row, column C. So I'm going to click 3C, then I'm going to click and I'm going to hold, and I'm going to come across. Hold on, I'm telling you wrong. I need you to come to the end where it's empty. So it's going to be 3. You're likely going to be AA just like her because we need an empty one. My apologies. So I'm going to click in 3AA. I'm going to hold. I'm going to come down. So I highlighted that whole section. I'm going to copy. I'm going to go back to April. I'm going to click in the 3C, and I'm going to paste. Okay, now I just showed you how to do a blank one. You may already have April the 6th in yesterday, so that's okay. I'm going to come back to April the 6th. I'm going to click in the 3X column. I'm going to come across. I'm going to drag. I'm going to pull down. I'm going to right click. I'm going to copy. I'm going to go back to April. I'm going to right click over 3C. I'm going to paste, and it pasted right over top of it. No problem at all, okay? Now you see we've got some stuff hanging over the edge. That's not a problem either. I'm going to click in an empty cell. I'm going to come back to where between the E and the F, because the E cell is the one that's hanging over long, okay? I'm going to make it where I have the horizontal line with the 2 arrows, and I'm going to double click. And that spaces it out so that the cell stretches as long as the writing is. Now I'm going to go back to March. I'm going to go back and I'm going to pick up the empty one. If you don't have one that's empty, you're just going to have to empty one out. Not a big deal. I'm going to copy. April. Okay, so I'm going to come to my next empty cell. So there's 1 day's worth. There's 2 days worth. There's 3 days worth. Come back to the first empty one, right click, paste, voila. There you go. As far out as you can stretch. So there's 1 day, there's 2 days, there's 3 days. It'll take that one cell and it'll duplicate it as many times as you draw it out, you pull it out, okay? If you only clicked in